Hello students, today's class is for class 9. In your previous classes, I have explained about the Rutherford's atomic model's gold foil scattering experiment. In that experiment, Rutherford found that most of the alpha particles are going in a straight line. Very few particles are deflecting at a very small angle, and very few particles are deflecting at an angle 180 degree. So based upon these three observations, Rutherford made an atomic model. So today we will list out these observations and the postulates of Rutherford's atomic model. So according to the gold foil scattering experiment, observations of Rutherford's experiment. So the first observation was that most of the alpha particles are going in a straight line. Okay, so the number one is most of the alpha particles are passing in a straight line. Most of the alpha particles are passing in a straight line. The second point is few particles are deflecting at a very small angle. Okay, so the experiment was like that the alpha particles are going and few particles that are touching at the side position, they are deflecting at a small angle. Okay, they are deflecting at a small angle. So the second point, few alpha particles are deflecting at a small angle, that is those alpha particles that are touching the side region of the nucleus. Okay, and the third point is very few alpha particles are deflecting totally 180 degree, that is the full deflection. There is nucleus, those alpha particles, very few particles that are touching the nucleus directly and thereby returning in a 180 degree angle. Okay, so the third point is very few alpha particles are fully deflected that is at an angle nearly 180 degree. So at an angle nearly 180 degree deflection of the alpha particles that are touching the nucleus. So based upon these three observations, Rutherford made an atomic model and there are some postulates of that Rutherford's atomic model. So now we will list out the Rutherford's atomic model postulates. So postulates of Rutherford's atomic model. Okay, so the first point is, according to the first observation, most of the alpha particles are going in a straight line. That means they are not facing any barrier. Okay, as they are not facing any barrier, that means most of the spaces inside the atom is vacant. Okay, it is fully vacant. That means the alpha particles are not facing any barrier, so they are passing in a straight line. So the first point is, as most of the alpha particles are passing in a straight line, are passing in a straight line, that means most of the phases, most of the spaces inside the atom is empty. It is empty. Most of the spaces inside the atom are empty. Okay, that's why the most of the alpha particles are passing in a straight line. So this is the first postulate of Rutherford's atomic model. The second point is, according to the observation that very few alpha particles are fully deflected, that is deflected at an angle 180 degree. That means there is a most dense part inside the atom, but the most dense part is oriented in a very small space. Okay, there is a dense part inside an atom where the alpha particles are striking and deflecting back totally at an angle 180 degree, but that space is very small. That is, the most dense part of the atom is very small, and that most dense part inside the atom is termed as nucleus. So first point is nucleus is very small, that is the most dense part, and when the alpha particles are striking that most dense part, that is the nucleus, they are deflecting at an angle 180 degree. So the second point should be the mass of the atom, is centered, the mass of the atom is centered at a point, which is the most dense part, of the atom, known as nucleus. Okay, so the point is the mass of the atom is centered at a point which is the most dense part of the atom, known as nucleus. Now what is the point here? How can we know that this is the most dense part? The very few alpha particles are fully deflected by striking this nucleus, Okay, so this is the second point, where whole mass of the atom is centered in the nucleus. Okay, now the third point is the nucleus is positively charged. And what is the point that we can say nucleus is positively charged? We can say it by the fact that alpha particles are positively charged and few alpha particles got deflection by striking the nucleus. That means positive repulsion, that is positive nucleus and positive alpha particles are making a repulsion each other, and thereby the alpha particles are alpha particles deflected from the nucleus. Okay, so the third point is the nucleus is positively charged. The nucleus is positively charged as the positively charged alpha particles are deflected from nucleus. that is positive repulsion. That is positive repulsion. Okay, as the alpha particles are positively charged and they are deflected by the nucleus, that means the nucleus is also positively charged. So that's the point. And the fourth point is the nucleus is very small, obviously, because very few, most of the alpha particles are going in a straight line, very few alpha particles are deflecting by the nucleus. That means the size of the nucleus is very small. So the fourth point is size of the nucleus is very small. Fifth point is the total atom is electrically neutral. The nucleus is positively charged. That means positively charged protons are present there, and the whole atom is electrically neutral. That means electrons should be present there in an equal amount that of protons. That means inside the atom the number of protons and electrons are same. That's why the total atom is electrically neutral. So inside the atom, number of proton in the nucleus, proton lies inside the nucleus and electron lies outside the nucleus. Number of protons inside the nucleus equal to number of electrons outside the nucleus. Electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, their number are equal, so they are cancelling the charge each other. Okay, number of electrons outside the nucleus. This is the another point of Rutherford's atomic model. And the last point is electrons are evolving. Electrons are evolving in a circular orbit. In a circular orbit. Just like this is the nucleus and there are circular orbits. Okay, and here the electron lies. So outside the nucleus the electrons are evolving in a circular orbits. Now when the electrons are evolving in a circular orbit like this, electrons are evolving, that means there exists a centrifugal force outside region. This is the centrifugal force. Okay, whenever any substance is circulating, that means it consists of a centrifugal force in the outside region. Okay, in the outside region. Now this electron gets attracted by this positively charged nucleus. This is nucleus. Okay, electron is negatively charged, nucleus is positively charged, so there is an attractive force between these two. Attractive force. Now this centrifugal force due to this circular motion and this attractive force between the electron and this nucleus, both are same. This centrifugal force and this attractive force are equal. Okay, the centrifugal force and attractive force are equal. That's why the electrons are surrounding in a circular orbit. This is the postulates of Rutherford's atomic model. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss about some drawbacks of Rutherford's atomic model, and next the Bohr's atomic model to solve the Rutherford's drawback of Rutherford's atomic model. Okay.